we are going to be chatting with you, Emily, about the hype over AI and all the commotion around Apple's Vision Pro launch. AI and Metaverse tokens are not looking so hot despite all of this chatter in the news. Talk to us about what's going on.
Yeah, so it's this segment is kind of about the lack of hype around AI tokens, at least for now. So as we've discussed on the show, there was a ton of hype around AI tokens, or so-called AI tokens, because as we know, it's become kind of a cliche that a lot of crypto people are pivoting into AI, and a lot of the kind of previous crypto hype is going into AI. So there are a bunch of so-called AI tokens, some of which have more of a connection to AI than others. Now, as we can see here, we got a sea of red. This is not looking very good. And there's a bunch of possible reasons for this. Our colleague Eliza actually has an article out about this saying that, AI-related tokens lost as much as 25% of their value in June. And, the reason she points to is sort of the hype wearing off, the hype about NVIDIA wearing off, because there was a big boom around that, right? And that's kind of trying to settle. I think we did a segment earlier this year where we had AI tokens kind of booming, and that was because of ChatGPT. So it's possible just that it's part of the news cycle, and now some of that hype is wearing off, and so we're seeing a sea of red. And it might just have to do with larger market sentiments. The question is how long is this red period going to last? Are we going to just have to wait until there's some sort of new AI news boom to prop them up?
It's always so interesting in the crypto markets when we see tokens pump on news that actually have not a lot to do with the tokens, right? It comes to this causation versus correlation narrative. There's ChatGPT in the news and NVIDIA, like you brought up here, but these AI tokens, are totally different projects. I think it's always important to bring that up for the viewers at home.
Yes, or Elon Musk posts a photo of a dog and the dog coins go up. So yes,
exactly.
this is kind of how crypto works. So yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Metaverse tokens. We saw some Metaverse tokens mentioned in both the Binance and Coinbase lawsuits that the SEC brought against them. I believe Axie, Sand, Mana were all mentioned, and we've seen those tokens take a big plunge as well. What's going on there?
Yeah, so the Metaverse tokens, we could look at this chart as well, also a sea of red, not looking good. Now, there's a few possible reasons for this. Now, we've talked a lot on the show that, just the hype over the Metaverse in general has been relatively muted. People have gotten a lot less excited about the Metaverse recently. So that might be part of it. But I think, what's interesting about this is coming, after the sort of Apple launch of their headset, which is widely expensive, but is presumably a bet in the future of the metaverse. Now, as we talked about last week, Apple is not necessarily friendly to crypto or Web3. And in fact, our colleague Frederick just reported that Apple rejected a Bitcoin wallet Zeus, and they're fighting with Damus, which is a decentralized social network about Bitcoin payments. So, maybe it's because, the Web3 community is sort of realizing that, Apple's launch isn't necessarily a crypto thing. But again, Jen, as you said, I think probably the fundamental thing here is that some of these metaverse tokens were named in the SEC suit. And I think that is likely having an impact on those specific tokens, like you said, Decentraland, Sandbox, et cetera.
And of course, we just spoke about markets with our markets guests. We took a look at the markets at the top of the show. It just seems like everything, including Bitcoin, is down right now. So a sea of red across the board.
Sea of red. Yep.
All right. Thanks, Emily. That was CoinDesk Executive Director of Global Content, Emily Parker.